Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Happy Thursday. Where we stop? Okay. All right, beautiful people. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. It is February the 24th, 2022, day number 39 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets under the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1057. Today, y'all, we're reading hold on. We're still in tablet A. Nope, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. We're about to start tablet B. On page 61. And then we're going to pick up in my big toe in chapter 24 on page 183 where we left off at. So let's get started here. Jen, shalom, shalom. Auntie, Belinda Brown, shalom, shalom. Let's go ahead and start and get this Shema done. Dana, hey girl, hey. Let's see. All right, y'all. A call for wholehearted commitment. Y'all know by now it's found in Deuteronomy chapter 6. These are the commands, decrees, and regulations that the Lord your God commanded me to teach you. You must obey them in the land you're about to enter and occupy. And you and your children and your grandchildren must fear the Lord your God as long as you live. If you obey all his decrees and commands, you will enjoy a long life. Listen closely, Israel, and be careful to obey. Then all will go well with you, and you will have many children in the land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, promised you. Listen, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. And you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. And you must commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these commands that I am giving you today. Repeat them again and again to your children. Talk about them when you're at home and when you're on the road, when you're going to bed and when you're getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as reminders. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. The Lord your God will soon bring you into the land he swore to give to you when he made a vow to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It is a land with large, prosperous cities that you did not build. The houses will be richly stocked with goods you did not produce. You will draw water from cisterns you did not dig, and you will eat from vineyards and olive trees you did not plant. When you have eaten your fill in this land, be careful not to forget the Lord who rescued you from slavery in the land of Egypt. You must fear the Lord your God and serve him. And when you take an oath, you must only use his name. You must not worship any other gods of the neighboring nations, for the Lord your God who lives among you is a jealous God. His anger will flare up against you, and he will wipe you from the face of the earth. You must not test the Lord your God as you did when you complained at Massa. You must diligently obey the commands of the Lord your God, all the laws and decrees he has given you. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. Then you will enter and occupy the good land that the Lord swore to give to your ancestors. You will drive out all the enemies living in the land, just as the Lord said you would. In the future, when your children ask you, what is the meaning of these laws, decrees, and regulations that the Lord our God has commanded us to obey, then you must tell them, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with his strong hand. The Lord did miraculous signs and wonders before our eyes, dealing terrifying blows against Egypt and Pharaoh and all his people. He brought us out of Egypt so he could give us his land as he had sworn to give to our ancestors. And the Lord our God commanded us to obey all these decrees and to fear him so that he can continue to bless us and preserve our lives as he has done to this day. But we will be counted as righteous when we obey all the commands the Lord our God has given us. Trina, hey girl, hey Shayla, great rising, great rising. Okay, y'all, we'll be adjusting our intro soon. I just don't know to what yet. It's gonna be something in the Torah, but we're gonna make it a little shorter. What our opening is going to be, so we can kind of just like flow on in, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and start on tablet B. All right, y'all. Y'all been meditating? I'm just curious. I just throw that out there. Just throw it out there. Okay. I was curious. If you leave comments, I'll look at them later. All right. I know some of y'all have, but I'm curious about some other ones. If y'all jumped in to take the plunge or to set aside any type of devotional time other than just listen to me run off at the mouth just about every morning. Okay. Tablet B. Book of the Babylon Stargates. Many stargates have been fashioned throughout the universe. Anunnaki lore alludes to several specific ones, including a gate or perhaps even gates, plural, to the outside, which exists as a barrier separating the time-space dimension of the Earth planet, the physical world, from the malignant primordial forces that have been locked out. See the Book of Nemesis, reference 27. And it says the Book of Nemesis is given as the Tablet N series within the present book. Francis, shalom, shalom. Okay. The archetype of such a gate is practically universal in the ancestral consciousness and memory. According to Babylonian lore, once Marduk was successful in conquering the ancient ones, the barrier was created and sealed, and the aid and power. According to Babylonian lore, once Marduk was successful in conquering the ancient ones, the barrier was created and sealed with the aid and power of Enki. The system of 7 thresholds or gates is often alluded to in initiatory systems within this tradition. There is also a correlation between these gates and the seals of the apocalypse, or that is to say, the Armageddon clock of humanity that has been set forth. Consequently, the Earth planet and local solar system moves through its own initiatory ladder of lights, and the finality of this coincides with the opening of the quadrangles, meaning the gates of the 4 corners of the universe. These types of gates do not open all at once, but instead swing wide gradually over time. Tiffany Hager, hey, Yahuwah is one. O great spirit, Yah, you give life to all within this world. Let us glorify you in everything we do. Hallelujah. The East Gate was said to have begun opening during the mass awakening of the magical revival in the late 1800s, though others have said it began with the Aleister Crowley in Egypt, 1904. The West Gate, hold on, let me see. Let me mark these gates. Let me check into something. I want to look at something. When I read that, something clicked. Okay. The East Gate was said to have begun opening during the mass awakening of the magical revival in the late 1800s, though others have said it began with the Aleister Crowley in Egypt in 1904. The West Gate appears to have been thrust open significantly around 1977, ironically near the mass awakening of the Simonian Sicinian Star Wars to Swords of Shanarana. Should I say that right? Sword of Shanarana generation. I'm gonna read that up. I probably screwed it up. I really gotta go finish watching Star Wars. I keep saying Star Wars everywhere. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. I'm going to read the whole sentence again with the Westgate. Shanara. Okay, that's Shanara. Okay. The West Gate appears to have been thrust open significantly around 1977, ironically near the mass awakening of the Simonian Sicinian Star Wars to Sword of Shanara generation. The Mardukite Chamberlains participated in the widening of the South Gate in 2009, a continuing process that is believed to fully open in 2012, though some say 2022 to 2024. Okay, I was going back to the print date of this book, which was 2019. No, originally in 2009. This is revised and expanded for 2019. Okay, I'm just double checking some dates, y'all. Okay. The Mardukite Chamberlains participated in the widening of the South Gate in 2009, a continuing process that is believed to fully open in 2012, though some say 2022 to 2024. And finally, the North Gate is expected to begin opening past the middle of the century, with its peak in 2087, though some believe this will be sooner. And then it has a footnote reference for 28, and it says, some misconceptions have risen concerning these gates and timeline since the original publication of this book. They are not meant to be considered outright physical or observable changes or events. Rather, they are turning points in the evolution of the human being and consciousness on the planet as the earth progresses into a new age. Now, with that footnote, I was going to mention something earlier that has probably, I don't know, maybe has something to do with meditation or whatever, but there I've noticed a change. Okay, Levi, blessings. Okay, maybe it's just a change with me and my whole eating habits and stuff. But for the last couple weeks, well, first of all, I still haven't started my I've been fasting, but fasting from certain things, right? But I haven't gone back to my full-blown water fast yet, right? I'm just building myself back up. But something I've noticed, and it's going on a month now, right? My smell, now I had to double check. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Did I didn't catch the Omicron variant or something like that? I'm just double checking myself. No, I'm not sick. But I knew when I had COVID, like my sense of smell and stuff was gone for about a couple, actually I'd say probably about a good month, you know. But I've been since had my smell and everything back working normally, everything functioning normally, no long-standing side effects or anything like that, right? But I had began to notice, and it began to kick in when I began, I want to say around the time my really start doing more focused meditation. Maybe something switched in my brain or something. But when it comes down to food, y'all, even the smell of food, it's like I can smell all the chemicals in processed food. If it's not natural, like 100% natural, like fruits and vegetables, I don't have any problems with fruits and vegetables, with the exception of bananas. Like the regular, they call them organic bananas, but they're not really organic bananas, like bananas you can just get from Food Line or whatever, you know. Those I got, and I used to eat them all the time, but I even got a problem with those. I used to think when people went vegetarian or vegan, you had them ones like, oh my gosh, meat smells horrible. And I thought they was just like doing too much. I'm like, okay, you know, everybody know you didn't change your eating lifestyle. You ain't got to treat everybody else like they just the worst, right? They was, I just can't stomach the smell. I'm going to gag and, you know, but I really can understand what they're saying now. If it's anything like what I've been experiencing the last couple months, like I cannot take the smell of meat at all. It smells like rotting flesh. It doesn't even have to be raw. It could be cooked and seasoned, like everything. It's like that cover, like the preserve. It's like all of that is removed. It's like that's not even covering it up. It's a rancid, horrid smell. It doesn't matter where we go. I could be driving. Burger King could be, you know how you ride past Burger King and some restaurants and that smell is, I can smell it. When I walk past people who are meat eaters, I can smell it. This sounds horrible. Not saying that they stink, but I can smell the flesh. Y'all, and I've been darn near almost gagging these last couple weeks. It is absolutely horrible. I'm like, what in the world is the matter with me? Like, I'm just minding my own business, and it's like the smells just become overwhelming. Not even just that, right? It's processed foods. If it's some stuff is not cooked, like chips or whatever, even Doritos. If I get too close to a Dorito, like my kids, I made them the dip the other night, and I darn near gag making the ingredients for the dip that they eat. But even the smell of the Doritos, and if that's like, oh my God, I had to go stand on the porch. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I'm like, okay, maybe some kind of medical issue. I was like, no, probably not. But it only happens when it comes to the food and stuff. Even certain things like pastas and stuff. If it's anything processed, like the Alfredo sauces, anything, I will literally darn near almost gag. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I thought about that too. I was like, oh, nope. That's what my husband said. I was like, I'm absolutely not pregnant. I know 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt I am not pregnant because my girlfriend is here for the month, right? Absolutely. I'm not pregnant, right? I went through all these things. I'm like, what in the world? Right? So it's been going on for like a solid month now. And I just I'm even adjusting. Well, I should have been adjusting how they were eating anyway. And I had been. But there are some things I'm like, y'all got to go all the way off all the meat. If y'all gonna eat it, or I mean, they're not even like really eating hard meat. It's like even the seafood. I don't know. It's almost unbearable. I mean, that's not even really like a whole bunch of exaggeration. It literally is almost unbearable to where I really want to wear a mask, when I'm cooking. And certain things, it's like, okay, I cannot cook this anymore. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just certain things. It's not everything. Yeah. Oh, okay. So look, Jen said, my in-laws are Hindu vegetarians. When they visited us for 3 months, we couldn't cook or eat meat in the house because they couldn't take the smell. It's something, guys, y'all, when I say I really thought vegetarians and vegans was doing the most, and I had just started in my plant-based, and I was already eating plant-based, but I guess, I don't know, my body's reached a certain point. Maybe it is all completely out of my system, and it's like it's this horrible foreign smell, and I can't seem to shake it. It literally makes me sick to my stomach. So, but I don't know. I started looking it up, and I see a lot of different people talking about it. I don't know. I guess it's just something when you just eating that type of way for so long, it just like, I don't know. It permanently adjusts your smelling glands and all that stuff. It's like I literally can't take it. So I've been airing the house. Just get outside the house. I was like, I'm gonna have to clean this out because it's a residue of different things. And my husband is not 100% plant-based, so even the meat, and I'm just like, okay, Pam, you gonna have to do something about this. We're gonna have to figure out a way. Like I already wear cooking gloves when I'm cooking, so I'm not touching it. But when I say it's terrible, it's terrible. Let me tell you. We went to go out to eat the other day, me and my husband, right? And we like to go to Golden Corral because they got like a nice salad buffet and everything. And that's normally what I eat when we go there. He eat what he eat, but I eat the salad. When we walked in the doors of the Chesapeake one on Volvo Parkway the other day, I walked, and it was a Sunday. People getting out of church, it's filling up and stuff, so it was a line. We walked in the doors. I took 3 steps and almost gagged. I did like this. I had my mask on, but the mask wasn't helping. And I turned, I said, oh my God, babe, I can't do this. The smell was so bad inside of the Golden Corral. I was literally going to gag, and I had to hurry up and get back out the door. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So we had to figure out another place to go eat, but I don't know. It's like my smell buds have been like permanently changed, or it seems to be so. Right, so and this is happening not just with meat, but anything processed. Like I was going through like doing like taste tests on different things, and it leaves this horrid aftertaste, like the taste of burnt onions in my mouth. And I was like, okay, so I grabbed a soda, like a Pepsi, and I just took a sip. Even the Pepsis, I tried Pepsi, I tried Dr. Pepper, I tried a Sprite. They all taste like burnt rubber. Whatever it is that's masking the chemicals that's in it to make it taste sweet, like all of that is removed. I can smell it and I can taste it with anything. And it's like almost literally everything except for fruits and vegetables. Now, it's the same thing with green beans, like canned green beans. I haven't tried the fresh ones, but definitely canned green beans, Italian. I'm like literally going through taste tests just to see, okay, am I really tripping? Is this a mind thing? But I've noticed is pretty much all processed things. Meat, I didn't try the meat. I don't eat meat, but I didn't try it. But the smell is overwhelming that it's like everybody needs to just like adjust. Even that the fast food fries, like a couple days, I was like, well, let me taste a fry. So I tasted a fry, and where did I get from? The ones from Wingstop. I think those are freshly cut. I had one of those. Those don't bother me. Fries from anywhere else, like I'm just like literally going through taste testing. It's that horrid rancid smell. I'm like, this is probably fake. It's probably not even real potatoes, but it's absolutely horrible, So I'm going to probably, look, I was going to be dropping weight anyway because of fasting, but really I literally can only eat fruits and vegetables at this time. Water is fine. And of course when I juice my fruits, but I was juicing a lot of grapefruits, but it didn't necessarily change the taste. I think it's becoming a little bit too strong for me now, the grapefruit. So I got to switch the fresh grapefruits to oranges. And it's already like acidic anyway, but it didn't bother me before. But now it's like it's bothering me a little more than normal now. I don't know. Maybe my body is just doing this whole overall cleansing. Then I was like, well, maybe my body's just vibrating higher. Like I'm literally going through everything. I don't know, y'all. So, but yeah, that just kind of triggered that when it was talking about this number 28 footnote into the things changing with the gates open and everything. I don't know. Maybe it's a part of that. Maybe it's just my body just transitioning to another phase of being plant-based. But it is, oh my gosh, y'all. I can't go into too many places. If they're cooking food, I can't. It's and when we walked in the Golden Corral, when I say, if y'all ever seen like a cloud of thick smoke, I know y'all probably never walked them, and some of you may have walked them to a cloud of thick smoke. That's what it felt like with the smell when we walked in there. It felt like I walked into a thick cloud. All right, babe. Like a thick cloud of flesh cooking smells, and it was literally unbearable. And before I went out, I kind of made eye contact with a few. I wasn't doing them all, so I was like, oh my God. And I just like did this my mask, and I'm looking at people. It looked like it didn't bother them, and my husband was like, what? I was like, you don't smell that? He was like, food. I was like, no, it smells like rotting flesh in here. He was like, oh, come on, let's go. Step outside. I'm like, oh my God. I had to pull myself together. I ripped my mask down to smell the fresh air. I'm like, oh my gosh, that doesn't stink in there to you? He said, no, it smells like it normally, it always does. Like cooked food, seasoning, sauteed stuff. He said, that's what it smells like. I said, no, it smells like rotting flesh in there. I said, I can't. I said, I'm sorry. I said, we got to find somewhere else. I'm going to have to get a smoothie or something. I said, but I can't do this. But yeah, so it's weird, y'all. Yeah, so, but yeah, I just wanted to, it triggered that. It's fresh with me. But yeah, so when it's talking about the changing and stuff, I don't know. Maybe it's a part of it. I don't know. But I am coming across more people that's saying that they can't take the smell of it, and they transitioned to plant-based as well, and they literally cannot take the smell of the meat. I don't know. It's weird, y'all. And it's not just with meat, but it's also, I said processed, it's with vegan meats too, y'all. Not like not like the black bean burgers, but like the Impossible meat. Oh my God, it's the worst. It is the worst. When I say it's the worst, it's the worst. I know they got some kind of chemicals in there, but I don't know if y'all eating like the Impossible burgers, the Impossible meat. They sell them at the stores now, but because I had some in here, and I was going to make like these meatballs because I had like the Impossible ones and vegan. They were processed. I pulled them out, smelled them during the pass out of my kitchen. It was like $100 worth of meat. I was like, I'm not feeding this to my children. And I took it all and I threw it away. My husband just looked at me. He's like, well, took a deep breath. I'm like, I cannot feed this to y'all. And so he was like, okay, we just, it's I don't know, it's crazy. Francis said, since I stopped eating meat, I too went to the store, walked through the door, and I smelled blood. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. It smelled like death for the first time. I don't know. Maybe that's the level of, I don't know, the next level we're going to vibrate at or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, babe. Maybe I'm still doing the most. I don't know. But let me know if y'all experienced that. Okay, so back to the reading. Okay, I'll read this last sentence again. The Marduk Chamberlains participate in the widening of the South Gate in 2009, a continuing process that is believed to fully open in 2012, though some say 2022 through 2024, and finally, the North Gate is expected to begin opening past the middle of the century, with its peak in 2087, though some believe this will be sooner. Most scholars agree that the Egyptian Book of the Dead is not Egyptian in origin at all, and the last 100 years of Egyptology shows more signs that the entire system and Most scholars agree that the Egyptian Book of the Dead is not Egyptian in origin at all, and the last 100 years of Egyptology shows more signs that the entire system and culture emerged from the Mesopotamian region, just as Mardukite lore suggests, given the migration of the Babylon, or gateway of the gods, from the Babylonian control to Egypt, where Marduk assumed the title of Ra, among others. It should come as no surprise that the same death gate symbolism that appears rampant in the other Mesopotamian lore given elsewhere in this text actually should appear in the Egyptian Book of Crossings. This version corresponds with the Book of Stargates, which was cross-referenced with Hermetic Papyrus of Ani, introducing the reader to formulate... Okay. This version corresponds with the parts of the Book of Stargates, which was cross-referenced with the Hermetic Papyrus of Ani, introducing the reader to formula of stargates, complete correspondence, symbolism, and names of gatekeepers and watchers, two specific entities that accompany each of the gates as guardians. The gates are called Arit, A-R-I-T, Arit, in Egyptian sources, and for ceremonial, magical purposes of self-initiation and the formation of the astral body, the function of the ladder of lights and the Arit appear identical. In addition, a further series of 21 gates called pylons is religiously described almost in the manner of a medieval grimoire. A pylon is a Greek word to describe the trilithon-like doorways such as you see modeled in Stonehenge or at the entrance to an Egyptian temple. Okay, then it goes into the ceremonial formula. The shamanic priest is always to observe the pious ways and the rites of offering at the altars of sacrifice. This is traditionally performed by intoning prayers from the tablets in conjunction with offerings of incense, grain, and libations of water, honey and buttermilk, and in some cases, wine. Sacred or holy oil makes an appearance in virtually all ancient Babylonian rites and may have possessed psychotropic properties, though the exact mixture has been lost, save for one formula which requires the mixture of gold flakes, a stone, with the essence of benu, a shrub tree, and a masticol, an herb. Water and oil are frequently placed in bowls before icons and temples, in addition to offerings of alabaster, gold, and lapis lazuli specifically. Okay, and the next section is the invocation of the Nana Gate. Spirit of the moon, Suin, Sin, Nana, the mighty one, Suin, who is unique and bright among the Anunnaki gods, the light gracing nations, exalted in heaven and on earth. Be favorable to me, a servant of the covenant. Bright is your light and brilliant is your torch, like the fire god. Your brightness extends to the ends of the earth planet. A symbol bar in the sky, of whose purpose no man can learn. The fate of the universe is set before thee. Gate of the great gate of the spheres, open to me now. God of the new moon, whose purpose no man learns. I have poured the offering of libation into the night and called to you. I stand at the threshold of the gateway of the gods, bowed down. May my God and Goddess, who have long been angry with me, in the name of truth and justice, I ask you to deal mercifully toward me. Lady of heaven and earth, in your splendor, protect the quadrangles. N represents the name. So like if you're doing this prayer, you will say, I, Pam, daughter of such and such, right? Okay, so it's just put in for name. It says, I, name, son of whose child you are, whose God is, you name that God, and whose goddess is, you name that God. May Naboo answer my calls by the decree of your words. May the sickness of my body be torn away. May the ailments of my flesh be consumed. May the consumption of my muscles be removed. May the poisons that are upon me be absolved. May the anathema be torn away and consumed. May the Anunnaki return and be established. May God and King gain favor by your mercy that is unchanging. And that was the invocation of the Nana gate. The next section is the invocation of the Naboo gate. Hero of Babylon, prince and heir of Lord Marduk. Naboo, ruler of the lands, the offspring of Sarpanit. Naboo, caretaker of the tablet of destiny of the Anunnaki. Spirit of the gate of Lord Naboo, swing wide the gate. Lord of the temples, Lord of the mound, and the tower of the nations. Your name is in the mouth of the people. Son of Marduk, rightful heir of the Merku, hear me. I, name, son of name, whose God is name, and whose goddess is name. I am your servant. Let me live and be perfect in your justice. Naboo, spirit of Babylon, remember, return, be established with the house of the Anunnaki, and may they command mercy on earth. May my God stand at my right hand. May my goddess stand at my left hand. May the favorable guardian spirit be with me. Naboo, firstborn of Marduk, remember me and be merciful. Next is the invocation of the Ishtar gate. Ishtar, Lady of the Sky, your throne rests in the bright starry heavens, you who shines like the sun star and who is given the spirit of Venus. You are powerful and exalted among the nations and the cosmos. Command the light here on earth. Open wide the threshold of your gate. Goddess of goddesses, have mercy upon me and take pity on my sighs. I call to thee, let there be good fortune and prosperity in the lands. Ishtar, queen of the horizon, where the sun rises, I have quested for, and behold your light. Let also my brightness shine, that which is on your right hand increase, the good fortune in the land, and that which is in your left hand, and let it be given your favor. I call to you to open the gate in the name of the covenant sworn. I, name, son of name, whose God is name, and whose goddess is name. I call to thee by the secrets of the gods, and in the name of the most holy tablet of destiny, union. Let the words I speak be heard among the Anunnaki. May the gods of the Anunnaki be favorable to thee and me. Let your name be heard unto the distant nations of the world. Gate of the sphere of the morning, open unto me. Hezekiah, shalom, shalom. Oh, yeah. I was watching a little bit on the news today about this whole Ukrainian war and stuff that's going on between them and Russia. Okay. Next is the invocation of the Samas gate. Samas, or Shamash, judge of the Anunnaki gods, lord of Ijiji, given the powers and forces of the sun. Samas, keeper of the fiery disk, the burning disk, remember me. I, name, son of name, whose God is name, and whose goddess is name. Call to the spirit of the Samas gate, open wide the gate. Samas, spirit of the sun, open the gate of the fiery star. I call to you from the sphere of your sister, Ishtar, hear my call. In the name of the ancient covenant of Anunnaki, and in the name of the most holy tablet of destiny, union, I call to the gate of the sun to open wide. Okay, the next is the invocation of the Nurgle gate. So remember, these guys that they're praying to is the original Anunnaki that we read about in the Lost Book of Enki. But as time is progressing and going on, they're changing the names. And these are more Egyptian names that they've taken on, the names that we're kind of familiar with Egyptology. But it's these same Anunnaki that came from heaven that we read about in Genesis chapter 6, or a section of them, which are the Gigi, or the Watchers. But it's these same ones. They've just changed their names over the years. But it's the same ones they talking to, right? Invocation of the Nurgle gate. Mighty Lord Nurgle, hero of the peoples, firstborn of Nunam Nir, Prince of Enlil among the Anunnaki and Lord of War. I call to thee from the gate and sphere of the sun. Hear me, Lord of the underworld, consort to Urish Kagal. Nergal, strong arm of the Anunnaki and Igigi. When you traverse the bright heavens, your place is lofty. Spirit of the gate of the dead, hear me. Swing wide the gate, it is I, Name, son of Name, whose God is Name, whose goddess is Name. Since you have been beneficent to me, I honor your divinity. In your compassion and mercy, may your angry heart have rest. Turn back with your horrible weapons and maintain peace. Spirit of the gate of the Aura and Aga, open to me. Let your name be heralded with humility among the people. The next invocation is the invocation of the Marduk gate. Marduk, almighty, powerful one of Assur, exalted, noble blood, firstborn of Enki, almighty Marduk, who causes the Etura to rejoice, Lord of Isagila, aid to Babylon, lover of Izida, preserver of life, prince of Imatila, renewer of life, shadow over the land, protector of foreign lands. Forever is Marduk, the sovereign of shrines. Forever is Marduk, the name in the mouth of the people. I, Name, son of Name, whose God is Name, and whose goddess is Name. I call to the spirit of the Marduk gate to swing wide the gate. Almighty Lord Marduk, at your command, the earthborn remain alive. At your command, let me live and be perfect. Let me behold your divinity. What I will to be, let me obtain my wishes. Marduk, cause righteousness to come from my mouth. Marduk, cause mercy to dwell in my heart. Return to the earth, establish the Anunnaki, command mercy. May my God stand at my right hand. May my goddess stand at my left hand. May my Lord, who is favorable to the stars, stand firmly at my side. Speak the word of command to hear my prayer and show favor. When I speak, let the words be powerful. Almighty Lord Marduk, come and command life. Bel's fires go with you. Enki, smile upon us all. May the good elder gods delight in your mercy. May the earth gods, deities, be favorable to thee and me. Spirit of the gate of Marduk, open the gate to me. Now, when I started glancing through some of this, and some of the, like the book of the 50 names, some of it looks really, really familiar to a lot of different passages in the Bible. And I'm like, this looks to me that they just removed Marduk's name and just left Almighty Lord, where it says Almighty Lord, Almighty God, to where in here it's followed by Marduk. But it's like the same sentence. It just removed Marduk and put Almighty Lord, blessed be thou. You know, I'm like, so I'm like, the whole Holy Bible is giving praise and honor to the Anunnaki. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there from some of the stuff I'm reading. Maybe not. Maybe somebody who wrote it, translated, maybe, I don't know, maybe they just had divine downloads and just happened to write the same exact words, right? Without putting Marduk in there, the same exact words that come from the more ancient Sumerian scrolls. Like, I mean, I find that highly improbable. I really do. Okay. Invocation of the Ninib gate. Mighty son, firstborn of Enlil, Baal. So Baal, it has Baal in brackets, right? It has Enlil's name, but it has Baal. So we know about Baal, right? But Baal, according to the older scrolls and stuff, that's another name for Enlil, right? Everything is pointing back to the Anunnaki or the Anunnaki, right? Okay. Lindsay said, yes, I noticed that as well as I've been reading the Anunnaki Bible as well. Yeah. It's like, who are we? Whose Torah is this really, right? We not, we're not saying that the creator doesn't exist, because the great creator truly does. We just trying to wade through all the garbage and find out if this is even, I don't know. It helped us along our path, right? It helped us. But at this point now we're asking questions about it, right? Because our experience and what we're reading, it's throwing things into, I ain't gonna say turmoil, but it's causing us to wake up at different levels. And as we grow, we start questioning things. Wait a minute, hold on, wait. Okay, so we learned here, okay, and if this is this, how is this? That don't make sense, right? We're coming to our senses. We're coming to ourselves. And now we're beginning to question the validity of things that they've taught us to gloss over all the time. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. Right? Okay. Invocation of the Ninib gate. Mighty son, firstborn of Enlil, Baal, and the Ancient of Days. Powerful one, perfect offspring of the heavens, Ninib, clothed in the mantle of terror and darkness, who walks the path of the dead, passing the gate of death at will. Mighty is the place of Ninib among the Anunnaki gods. Exalted is your name in the Iker, house of the Anunnaki on earth. And you, Father, Gibil, has made you the lawmaker of the gods. Hold on. And you, Father, Gibil, has made you the lawmaker of the gods, in the name of the most ancient and most sacred covenant of the gods, and in the name of the secret and priceless tablet of destiny. I, Name, son of Name, whose God is Name, and whose goddess is Name, called to the gate of Ninib to open the judgment of mankind. Gate of the last days, swing wide the doors to your power. Come down and command. Lead the people without a ladder. Hold the hand of the weak and exalt the one who is strong, but grant both to pass through the gate of the spirit of Ninib. Ninib, Anunnaki prince, dark wanderer of dark places between, hear my cry and take pity. Show mercy to your servant of Babylon. Be favorable to me. Take away my sins and remove my iniquities, that I may come before my God and goddess in pure perfection. May your name ever be praised among the words of the people. And the next, coming forth and crossing western 7. Okay, let me read one more and then we'll pause, because the next coming forth crossing. Oh, where we at? 43 minutes? I gotta stick with my time with okay. We'll read this one more section and then we'll pause. Okay. The next is coming forth and crossing the western horizon or gate. The rising one of earth is bound to the earth, but he may cross the western horizon from the cavern of stone. Only by crossing or coming forth can the rising one learn the true knowledge of the realms of the glorious ones. Beyond the western horizon gate, a treacherous path to behold. In the cavern of stone, lapis, is the cauldron of rebirth. The rising one ascends on falcon's wings, rising above himself and the names written in the book of sacred mysteries. Rising above, the rising one overcomes the pull of the earth life. From neither earth nor heaven, but the place of the bond heaven earth. The rising one comes forth to enjoy the offering of cakes and ales, and a brew of black fungus, soma, in the brackets it has soma, S-O-M-A, and a brew of black fungus, soma, causing the body and mind to separate. In the place of visions, he is placed in the womb of creation, rebirth of abyss. Okay, for womb of creation. After that, in brackets, it has rebirth or abyss. Let me read that whole 2 sentences over. Okay. The rising one comes forth to enjoy the offering of cakes and ales, and a brew of black fungus, soma, causing the body and mind to separate. In the place of visions, he is placed in the womb of creation, rebirth, abyss. Restrained, unable to move, his voice is heard calling on his ancestors. Rising above in spirit, he meets the pathfinder and petitions the guardian. Kind of sound like astral projecting, right? Look, my first, I ain't gonna say my first, but my first real paying attention to experience that I had the other day, that video that's entitled Julian Spirits and Screaming Out for My Husband. That's the first time I've actually paid attention to what was happening to me, being fully conscious, where my spirit separated from my, what, it didn't necessarily come out of my body just yet. I was just kind of moving around inside of my body, inside of my flesh like a tomb. Restrained, unable to move, his voice is heard calling on his ancestors. Rising above in spirit, he meets the pathfinder and petitions the guardian. Coming forth to the opener of the ways, he must be tested. By passing by the dweller on the threshold, the body becomes restless, then settled by the words of the primary solar deity. I am the knower of the secret names and the secret numbers. I am the knower of the name of the limitless one. The limitless one who is above all the lords of the east and the west. Among the gods, powers, and forces, I am the one most powerful. The rising one struggles, glistening with moisture or sweat. The watchers wait for when he is not under the protection of the sun god, and he struggles against the daemons, the fiends of darkness. He comes forth, the rising one, and returns, the risen one. He comes forth, the rising one, and returns, the risen one. Having overcome the trials and tribulations of the crossing, strange sounds and lights fill the air like a storm. The risen one awakens, but at first cannot move without aid. He is given the goblet of sweet waters to mend his dry throat, being resurrected to life from the cave of stone, lapis. The risen one has ascended to become an enlightened one. And that is where we will pause today. And that's a whole lot in that, based on my current recent happenings going on with the body. I'm still trying to make sense of all of this, because I'm like, yo, Baji, y'all tell us this is not true, but this is happening to me like right now. How do you explain this? Nothing you telling me in the church is helping me at this point. Right? Okay. All right, so let's hop over to My Big Toe. And chapter 24 on page 183 is still in this section called Two Concepts. And it was going over, let me refresh myself. Okay, as it turns out, this one source is simply consciousness, primordial consciousness, the fundamental energy that is the medium of reality. Okay. Okay, let me go back before where we about to start, about 3 short paragraphs. Okay, on page 182. The fundamental process of evolution, along with primordial consciousness as a fundamental source of structurable energy, are the 2 basic assumptions on which My Big Toe is based. Everything that follows will be logically derived and explained from these two fundamental assumptions. I am not asking you to believe in the truth of these assumptions, nor to have faith in their correctness. I am not trying to start a religion here. These are the logical underpinnings of this big toe. They are the assumptions, assertions, logical premises upon which the structure of my big toe is built. My big toe is a model. Its usefulness and the value of these assumptions is based exclusively on its ability to explain the data, period. Please reread the previous two sentences enough time to commit them to memory. By the end of section 6, you will have a much better idea about this reality model's usefulness and the potential correctness of these assumptions. The data, or empirical facts, in Einstein's words, are any and all of the carefully evaluated experience or truth that you and others have accumulated about life and the nature of reality. These data come in two types: personal data that are unique to your subjective experience, and shared data that represents shared data that represent the objective physical experience of physical matter reality, the realm of physical matter reality science. If your personal data have been objectively evaluated and are unwarped by ego, attachment, belief, and fear, they can be used to either corroborate or invalidate this model. For this type of data, you are the sole judge, the only possible judge. Because of the personal nature of subjective experience, you can only be the judge for yourself. Shared data are also important. Physical reality and physical matter reality science must be an integral part of any big toe. We, after all, are at this moment interacting with what appears quite convincingly as a physical reality. No one can reasonably deny the importance or necessity of physical experience, even if consciousness is at the core. Physical reality and its science must be a necessary, rational, and derivable part of the big picture. Furthermore, it is the interactions that take place in physical matter reality, as defined by our physical experience, that enables one to test and measure the objective results of an increased quality, decreased entropy of consciousness. And now he's about to go into the little short aside. This is where the metaphysical rubber first meets the road. What I am offering in this chapter is not what I believe to be true. This is not about what I believe about reality. This is about a model of reality based upon my experience and research. If the difference between the two is not crystal clear, I have not communicated as clearly as I need to. Some may believe there can never be a significant difference between the two, that belief and subjective knowledge are the same. Not so. Results, objectively measurable results, can differentiate between the two. If there are no objective measurable results, there can be no solid or scientific conclusions. My big toe represents a serious attempt to describe a model, the larger reality, as a digital consciousness, and you as an individuated subset of that digital consciousness. Let me read that sentence again. My big toe represents a serious attempt to describe the model. Let me start again. I messed it up. My big toe represents a serious attempt to describe and model the larger reality as a digital consciousness, and you as an individuated subset of that digital consciousness. If what you have read thus far seems to be far removed from hard science, be patient. The merger of physics and metaphysics, which is a logical requirement of any correct big toe, requires substantial background development. From the little picture perspective of our local objective causality, all one needs to do is make a strong scientific argument hold on. Go back again. I messed that one up too. From the little picture perspective of our local objective causality, all one needs to do to make a strong scientific argument is write down the appropriate equations. Math is merely symbolic logic. The limited local logic of the little picture is clearly expressed by little picture mathematics. Within the physical matter reality causality system, if the assumptions are correct and the math is correct, the results will be correct. That is how little picture physics works. The big picture, responding to a more general causality, cannot be adequately described in terms of little picture logic. I know that this is a difficult paradigm for many, particularly scientists, to transcend, but it is logical that the big picture with its more general causality cannot be fully described from a little picture perspective. In other words, the larger reality, non-physical matter reality, consciousness, cannot be fully specified by a limited logical, I know that this is a difficult paradigm for many, particularly scientists, to transcend, but it is logical that the big picture with its more general causality cannot be fully described from a little picture perspective. In other words, the larger reality, the non-physical matter reality consciousness, which is what we call the spirit realm, the unseen realm, that consciousness cannot be fully specified by a limited local logic and knowledge that belongs to a small subset, physical matter reality of that larger reality. And that makes sense? Okay. So it's saying you can't understand the spiritual realm from the natural realm if you've never been into and operated in the spiritual realm. It just won't make sense. That's essentially what it just said, right? You cannot even perceive the non-physical matter reality consciousness by observing it from a physical matter reality consciousness. You have to actually get into the non-physical to understand and see and be like, oh snap, there is a whole nother world that exists. I did not get that standing back there. You can't even see that standing back there, right? That's what it's saying. In other words, the larger reality, non-physical matter reality consciousness cannot be fully specified by a limited local logic and knowledge that belongs to a small subset, physical matter reality of that larger reality. If I could describe my big toe in terms of little picture, physical matter, reality, mathematics, logic, it could not possibly be more than a little toe. That is one of the invisible walls that Einstein ran into with his failed unified field theory. He tried to describe the big picture exclusively in terms of little picture logic. At least he knew there was a big picture, even if he didn't know. At least he knew that there was a big picture, even if he did not know it constituted a superset of the little picture. The traditional belief blinded little picture perspective will maintain old paradigms and preserve cultural and scientific dogma by simply denying the existence of a larger reality. To be consistent, it also must deny or concoct excuses for any scientifically validated data and experience that directly conflicts with its belief. Christians have no problem with doing that. I know. I used to be them. You have no problem with making up stuff and just blaming it on something else because you don't understand. You refuse to understand, to stay in your cultural beliefs and what feels comfortable to you. You're fine with the little toe, right? I'm not. Read that again. The traditional belief-blinded little picture perspective will maintain old paradigms and preserve cultural and scientific dogma by simply denying the existence of a larger reality. To be consistent, it must also deny or concoct excuses for any scientifically validated data and experience that directly conflict with its belief. That is the old, tried, and true head in the sand, butt in the air trick. Oh, that is our title for the day. Head in the sand, butt in the air. That's going to be our title. I can assure you from firsthand experience. Bella! Hold on, y'all. Bella! Leave her alone. Turn the TV back. Lord have mercy. That girl be screaming bloody murder like something wrong. And all they did was change the channel on the TV. All right, y'all, hold on. We can pause after this. Hold on, let's see how we might have. We can pause in the middle of this short side. Okay. Let me go back right here. We'll read a couple more little small paragraphs. The traditional, belief-blinded little picture perspective will maintain old paradigms and preserve cultural and scientific dogma by simply denying the existence of a larger reality. To be consistent, it must also deny or concoct excuses for and scientifically that to be consistent, it must also deny or concoct excuses for any scientifically validated data and experience that directly conflicts with its belief. That is the old, tried and true, head in the sand, butt in the air trick. I can assure you from firsthand experience that attempting to engage these elevated butts in intelligent conversation is often not productive. Low IQ, bad breath, no vision. That's going to be a part of our title too. Head in the sand, butt in the air, low IQ, bad breath, no vision. That's going to be the full title for today. Fortunately, minds can sometimes be pried open and perspectives can sometimes change with additional experience, knowledge, and understanding. If the above ideas are fuzzy, hold on. Understanding will improve and become clear as you continue. This model, as any model, is constructed mostly of knowledge and experience with a little conjecture or theorizing to bind or integrate the various discrete data together into a coherent and consistent whole. I approach this model with open-minded skepticism, as you should. If I believed in it, it would limit my belief. If I believed in it, it would limit my ability to grow the model in new directions as new data accumulates. If it makes you feel better, I don't believe any of this stuff either. I either know it as fact, which is knowledge, or regard it as regard it as the most likely possibility or best hypothesis thus far based on the scientific data available to me as of this writing. In other words, this trilogy represents the tentative results and conclusions of 30 years of my personal, serious, careful, scientific exploration of the physical and non-physical. I have been strongly encouraged to share the results and conclusions of my experience with you. These books are it. What you do with it, get out of it, or take from it is entirely up to you. And that's what we're going to pause at for today. All right, y'all, we'll come back here. We didn't really make it too far. From the other day, we literally read about 2-3 paragraphs more than what we did the other day when we paused. Okay, but that's cool. I think we stopped in the right place. All right, y'all. 194. Put this right here. All right, y'all. Look, before I go ahead and end this, y'all know something else that I can't drink anymore? It's I ain't gonna say it's terrible. I guess it's kind of a good thing. I cannot drink coffee anymore. Coffee tastes like perfume. Maybe it's because of the brand. Like, I done tried a couple different brands, like Folgers and the Colombian and stuff. I even got some like fresh Dunkin' Donuts. I tried everything. I can't drink coffee. It literally tastes like perfume. And then it could be, what I didn't do, I didn't try it black, right? But when I add the creamer in it, and I don't put sugar, I haven't put sugar in my coffee for years. I just use like the liquid creamers. But when I put that in there, it tastes like perfume. So I probably need to test it again, see if it's the creamer mixed with the coffee or if it's the coffee all around. Even test it black. I haven't tested it black, right? But yeah, I haven't had coffee in a month. I can't stomach it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's back to the earlier conversation about the smells and stuff getting to me. But with that being said, beautiful people, I'm glad y'all hung out today with me. It is Thursday, February 24th, 2022, day 39 of year 4, reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets. Another 4-year consecutive day count, day 1057. We read a little bit of Tablet B in the Complete Annunaki Bible, starting on page 61, and we paused on page 67. And then we read a little bit more of chapter 24 and my big toe, starting on page 183, and we paused on 184. All right, beautiful people. With that being said, let's go ahead and do this blessing. They doing the most upstairs. I'm not even gonna call Bella down today. So if y'all wanted to hear the sweet little lady do the blessing, you won't hear it today. She sound like she about to come down here too. See, they loud. All right, y'all. The blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah will kneel before us, presenting gifts, and will guard us with a hedge of protection. Yahuwah will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards us, bringing order, and he will provide us with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yahuwah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon us, and he will set in place all we need to be whole and complete. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people. I cannot lie. When we begin and end this, because I've read so much ahead and understand, I cannot, although my intent is to direct these prayers to the creator of all, I cannot help now knowing that when these prayers were written, they were not written to the creator of all. They were written to Anunnaki gods. And I'm gonna have to adjust. I can't keep doing it, y'all. And my sister, she be cracking up. She said, "How long you got?" I was like, "Girl, I was like, cause I know I gotta find a way to adjust the beginning and the end, because it worked up until I knew the actual truth about it. Now it's really becoming a burden to do it, because it's like, okay, we're adjusting to truth, but now that I know, like, y'all praying to Inky, my G. And this prayer was written like the priesthood and everything. The priesthood was to worship the Anunnaki gods, and the sacrifice and all this stuff was given to them. But after the Anunnaki actually left Earth, they continued on with the processes of what they were doing. And now everything, instead of like the offerings and stuff, like we're taught in the Bible, we're taught in the beginning that you give the offering to the priest offer it to God, and then God in return give it back to the priest, and the priest partake of it. Now that seemed like a whole bunch of garbage to me, right? Because now I know what was really happening in the beginning. The Anunnaki set up the priesthood. Even, I know this sound like blasphemy to my Hebrew brethren and sisterins' ears, right? But based on the research and the information I have now, they set up the priesthood. The Anunnaki set up the priesthood, right? They were their personal priests. They was kind of like the go-between between the actual human workers and stuff and those who actually consulted or came into the presence of the Anunnaki. You came to see Inky yourself, my dear, whatever. or Enlil or Marduk. That's the priesthood. Like it's the chain of command. Y'all got problem? Go tell the priesthood. The priest will come and let the gods know. Right? That's the whole chain of command. We're kind of familiar with that, right? But once they actually left, right, and we're not interacting physically with humankind anymore, humankind continued to carry on the priesthood, not just in like the church or Israel, but the other nations. There were the Anunnaki were in the different nations, and every nation where the Anunnaki was had a priesthood to that particular Anunnaki or that particular god of that region, and their priesthood offered the sacrifices, whether it be to Enki, Enlil, Marduk. It was given it to them. So when they actually left Earth, the priesthood continued on like it was still happening, and it wasn't. And so instead of just actually giving all the sacrifices to them and that be done with it, they were saying now they gave it back to us and now we can consume it. I'm like, all this is a bunch of hogwash. This is a bunch of garbage. All of it is a bunch of garbage. That's just how I'm feeling about it. Now I'm seeing like the truth behind the matter. So that's why now I'm really like, it worked for me up until this point. Now it's like I know. It's like we just kind of changed the name and put Yahuwah's name in there, when originally it was created to worship and talk to Enki, Marduk, whatever the Anunnaki was that was there. It was directed towards them. It wasn't directed toward the creator of all, right? So I'm thinking we need to have our own prayer that we create and is directly aimed to the creator of all, creator of everything, the total source, right? So Audrey, shalom, shalom. So that's just how I'm feeling deep down in my shanana, y'all. I know some people don't like change, but that's what this life is about. It's about change and growth and developing. If we're doing something wrong, we need to adjust it and do what's right. Now that we have more truth, now that our little toe is getting a little bit bigger, we have a big picture theory of everything. We have to adjust, just like children have to adjust. We got to change out the clothes. These clothes don't fit you anymore, baby. I know this your favorite one. I'll let you keep it for a little while, but you can't put it on. You can cut off your circulation. Let's go shop and get you some bigger clothes, some bigger shoes. Can't wear them anymore. Matter of fact, if you continue to wear them, you're going to look quite ridiculous, right? We don't want to look ridiculous while we're growing, right? At this point, I feel like we're still trying to make small clothes fit. And I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. All right, y'all. So with that being said, I figure out how to adjust this, even if it's just a prayer from my heart in the morning, beginning and ending. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying here, right? I'm not trying to do away with y'all Torah, but as I'm learning truth, I have to adjust, right? Based on my experience and everything. I definitely enjoy y'all input and just different things. You have questions, please ask. Please ask, right? Because it'll help me. It'll help me adjust me and whatever. We help one another out here. But I just feel like I'm still trying to wear clothes that are too tight, and I feel like I'm looking quite ridiculous. Like fat guy in little coat. All right, y'all. With that being said, I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, Friday, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.